Hello and welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at the Ferrari Magazine number 40. This is the 348 TS model. So we will look at the die-cast car towards the end. I'm going to put that aside. Go very briefly through this magazine. Excuse me. So in this particular issue, we get the single-seated, which is the F1 643, which I think we actually showed off last week or the week before. So you can go back and have a look at that. Production models, obviously the 348 TS from 1989, the one we have the die-cast car for. The competition models in this one is a return to GT class, the 550 GTO GTS, which I do think we also have a model of that in this collection. I'm not sure I've shown that off yet. But look, going back over the F1 643, was it 643 or 641 was the car before that? Maybe that's the one, 642, obviously, from 1990. Yeah, and it came up as F190. Okay, so maybe it's a different write-up. So the X643 was a transitional single-seater, despite securing a number of podiums in 1991, played a role for Alain Prost being sacked by Ferrari before the end of the season. Wow. I think it actually was a 642 that we showed off. Now, I don't know if... it might have been actually under my Formula 1 car collection. Either way, I think I've got the 27 and 28 from this particular design, which is awesome, having that in 143 scale. Engine in this was a rear-mounted 60-degree V12 and capacity of 3.499.2. I think they had a limit of 3.5 litre. Had a 3.496, a bit smaller for the Hungarian GP. Wonder what the deal was with that. Old engine? Maybe, I don't know. 710 brake horsepower though, at 13,800. But the Hungarian one, smaller capacity, had 735 brake horsepower at 14,800, so it could rev even higher. That's pretty cool. Doesn't say what the maximum speed was. Carbon fibre and Kevlar bodywork. Yep. Honours. So for French second for Prost, British was third for Prost, German was third for Alesi, Italian was third for Prost, Portuguese third for Alesi, Spanish second for Prost. So it had a few podiums. I think this is around about the time in the early 90s, probably actually the end of the 80s when I really was getting into it. Getting old enough to recognise and have a bit of a fan favourite. High hopes ended in turmoil. There were a few high hopes, but more lows for Ferrari's 643 and Alain Prost during the 91 season. Yeah, reliability issues, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to go reading the whole thing. If you want to read the whole article, you can pause the video and have a look. 348 TS, this is the one we've got the model for this magazine, introduced a direct replacement for the 328, but as a spiritual successor to the 308, the 348 was an easy-to-handle Grand Tourer designed by Pininfarina. It came in two body styles. I'm guessing the hardtop and the convertible, which we have the convertible. Presented in the Frankfurt Motor Show, autumn of 1989, though not officially declared, an estimated 9,000 examples were built over the 348's lifespan. There you go. Excuse me. All right, sober but practical profile. Yep. Designation 348 TS refers to the overall engine capacity of 3.405 cc. 8 cylinders, isn't it? 3.4 litre V8. Yep, okay. Number of cylinders, 8. The mounting on the gearbox, transverse T, and the convertible body, Spider. There you go. Okay. But this version had a removable targa top and truly convertible called the 348 Spider. Was introduced only in 1993. Well, there you go. Not going to read the whole thing. Going to have a look at this poster. Looks like a hardtop version, that one. It's very nice, actually. I think I've got one that looks, maybe the 348, not TS, but a silver one of these in the same die cast. And having a look at the outside. So red on one side convertible and yellow hardtop on the other poster. Very good. I don't take them out, though. I leave them in the magazines. Front and back, 5 years after the launch of the Testarossa, the 348 still showed the influence of the 12-cylinder Grand Tourer. This was particularly so in the grilles and the rear of the car that covered the rear lights cluster, and in the shape of the nose and the asymmetrical air inlet, but with more rounded headlights. The 4 exhaust pipes grouped in pairs gave the 8-cylinder Ferrari a gritty, determined look. Yeah, I do like these ones. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Engine is a mid-rear longitudinal 90-degree V8. Obviously that 3.4 litre. 300 brake horsepower. 320 brake horsepower by the autumn of 93. Okay, the GTS model. Right. GTS had a 280 km an hour, 174 mile an hour top speed, but the normal one was at 275. It was 171 mile an hour, so hardly any difference. All right, moving on. The real GT back from the racetrack. After numerous race successes in 2003, the race-tuned Ferrari 550 secured an impressive overall victory in the FIA GT World Championship, thanks to BMS Scuderia Italia drivers. Those guys. It's the easiest way to say their names, those guys. You can read that. Various development teams. It was not until 2001 that the 550 reached a high level of competitiveness with the cars of Intelligentsia, entered by the Raffinelli team and driven by professional drivers. Okay, cool. I'm not going to read their names because I'm terrible at reading names. But this thing had a front longitudinal 60-degree V12. Capacities of 5.850 cc, so 5.8 litre. 5.8.5 litre, to be honest. Moving down the information there, it's 1,100 kilos in weight. Maximum speed, according to rear axle ratio. What's according to? They didn't say. So I'm guessing it depending on the race that they're actually on. So no idea. Made between 1999 and 2003. We do have a car, though, that matches this in the collection. Don't think I've done the video on it yet, but soon enough. All right, 550 honours. Bunch of firsts in 2001. Only one in 2002. But in 2003, they've got first, second, and third, or first, second, first, second, 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 and ninth in the Le Mans. But first in GT. Okay, so first in class. So the Spa 24-hour was second overall, but first in the GT class. And Le Mans was first in the GTS class. 2004, first, second, and a first, second, and third at Hockenheim. Did really well. Very good. All right, moving on. Next magazine will be the 375 F1 model, another old vehicle. We did do a similar vehicle, was it last week, or it might have been the Formula One magazine. But I do have a few of those older 50s Formula Ones. Let's have a look at this car here now. Now, you got your intakes on the side there. They're very much like the Testarossa of the 80s. Might be a little dusty inside. I've had this one sitting on a shelf. And it's very difficult to dust in there. I do use a makeup brush to dust these, so that try and keep them clean. As you can see in the back here. So if you're ever looking for a way to keep your cars clean, I've just got a large makeup brush, very soft. But what I think I need to do is one of those ones that are on a stick. Put that away to get in for a convertible to clean, or put it in behind perspex. there is that dustproof area, or back in its case. So the interior is actually quite well detailed. I think the Ferrari collection in these ones were really well done. So you can see the dash is actually all there, all the buttons, well done. Having the front. And underneath, we actually do have a bit of moulding for where the engine would go. So it's got a little bit. We've got black exhaust pipes though. Often you see these in silver. Could do with a bit of a touch up. But I'm not going to modify any of these to make them show up better. I don't want to modify them. But look, for a cheap model, when I say cheap, magazine's still $20 or thereabouts back in the day, or 17 or 18 Australian dollars. But you can't buy these for that much off the shelf, a collectible Ferrari, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to put this on the turntable so you can see, have a look without my hands in the way, a closer look. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. Cheers.